In the last class, few programs on interrupts was discussed. So in this class, let us look into few more programs on interrupts using assembly level language. Assume that INT1 pin is connected to a switch that is normally high. Whenever it goes low, it should turn on an LED. The LED is connected to port 1 pin 3 and is normally off. When it is turned on, it should stay on for a fraction of a second. As long as the switch is pressed low, the LED should stay on. So first let us see which are the pins that are used. Okay, we are using port 1 pin 3, that is, it is the output port, and that particular pin, that is port 1 pin 3, is connected to an LED. The question, it is given that we are using INT1 interrupt. That is, the microcontroller gets interrupted when a logic 0 signal is received through INT1 pin. So this INT1 pin, initially it is connected to VCC, and using a switch we are changing the position from VCC to ground. So now when INT0 pin is connected to ground, that is when a logic 0 signal is received through INT0 pin, then the microcontroller gets interrupted, and then this is indicated using an LED. LED is connected to port 1 pin 3, it will glow. This indicates that an interrupt signal has been received by the microcontroller, or the microcontroller is interrupted. Okay. So first you need to understand the question, then you need to write the program. As INT1 interrupt is used, you need to write the interrupt subroutine at the fixed location, that is 0013H onwards. So here you can see the program is started or written in the memory location 0000H onwards. Okay, then we are redirecting the microcontroller to some other location. The reason is that we have discussed it earlier also. The initial memory location, it is meant for the interrupt vector table. So whenever we use the concepts of interrupts, we have to make sure that the starting memory locations, that is 0000H onwards, is not used, because in case if we use the memory location, then we will be overwriting the interrupt vector table. So here we are using an unconditional jump instruction to bypass the interrupt vector table, that is ljump main instruction. When it gets executed, then the microcontroller is bypassed to some other location, and here the memory location is 0030H onwards. The instructions gets executed. As we are using interrupts, the interrupt enable register has to be programmed suitably. So the first bit is made 1, that is we are enabling the interrupts of 8051, that is EA pin, it is made high, or the EA flag bit is made high. As we are using INT1 pin, we are enabling the respective bit in the IE register. So IE is loaded with #10000100B. B indicates that the bits, the number that is given, it is in bit form. Bit form means in binary. Then continuously the next instruction sjump here will be executed. Okay, so until the microcontroller gets interrupted, this instruction will be continuously executed, and whenever the microcontroller is interrupted, then the interrupt subroutine written in the fixed location 0013H onwards gets executed. Okay, now as per the question, a logic high signal has to be sent through port 1 pin 3. So we know that by default a port will be working as a output port. A logic high signal is sent, that is through this instruction set bit port 1 pin 3. Okay, then in the question it is not mentioned to what duration the LED has to be in on state. So it is given that it has to be in on state for a fraction of a second. Suppose the time duration was mentioned, then we had to use a timer interrupt also, but here some random value is chosen. Here R3 register is loaded with hash 255. Okay, now in here it is not mentioned whether the number is in decimal or hexadecimal. Okay, of course it cannot be in binary. So hash 255, suppose you don't mention whether it is decimal or hexadecimal, then by default that number is treated as a decimal number, it will be converted to hexadecimal. So hexadecimal means FFH. Okay, then the very next instruction gets executed until R3 becomes 0, that is DJNZ R3 back. So whenever this instruction is executed, R3 register will be decremented by 1, and once it becomes 0 it will come out of the loop. Now the LED has to turn off. So clear instruction will be sent. Clear port 1 pin 3, that means a logic 0 signal will be sent through port 1 pin 3. Okay, then in order to return from the interrupt subroutine to the main program, RETI instruction is written. Whenever RETI instruction is written, then the microcontroller will fetch the return address from the stack, and the control will be passed on to the main program. Okay, so here next the execution of the main program will be continued. So here we can see just one task is being performed, that is whenever the microcontroller receives a logic 0 signal through port 1 through INT1 pin, the microcontroller gets interrupted and then the LED is turned on and off for some duration. So here you can see the diagram. Okay, so initially INT1 it is connected to VCC because it is mentioned in the question that it is connected to logic high state. Okay, and using a switch then will be connecting it to logic 0. Okay, then when it is connected to logic 0, an interrupt signal, that means the microcontroller gets interrupted, then it will then a signal is sent through the LED. Let us look into the next question. Here INT1 pin is connected to a pulse generator. Write a program in which the falling edge of the pulse will send a high to port 1 pin 3, which is connected to an LED or a buzzer. In other words, LED is turned on and off at the same rate as the pulses that are applied to INT1 pin. Okay, here you can see this is the same program which was discussed previously. The only difference is here INT1 should be made edge triggered, whereas in the previous program you can see it is level triggered, that is when a logic 0 signal is received the microcontroller is interrupted, whereas here when a falling edge of the signal is detected, that is when there is a transition from logic 1 to logic 0, then the microcontroller gets interrupted. So what has to be done? So we have discussed regarding the TCON register earlier. We can program the IT0, that is signal type bit of INT1 pin. If it is 1, then it is edge triggered, else it will be level triggered. So let us look into the program. The instructions are similar to the previous program. Let us see where it differs. Okay, ORG 0000H onwards the program is written, then we are bypassing the interrupt vector table, and here the main program gets executed. So in order to make INT1 edge triggered, we have to make the signal type bit of the TCON register 1, that is we have to make TCON bit 2 1, that is done using the instruction set bit TCON dot 2. So we know that the TCON register is bit addressable. We can change the individual bits also. Then I is loaded with the suitable value. Then continuously this instruction will be executed, and whenever the microcontroller is interrupted, here we know microcontroller gets interrupted when a logic 0 signal is received, that is at the falling edge, whenever there is a transition from logic 1 to logic 0. Okay, the microcontroller gets interrupted, and we know that port 1 pin 3, it is connected to an LED or a buzzer. Here we assume that it is connected to an LED. So for some duration the LED has to be in on state. So R3 is loaded with some random value, that is 255 in decimal, FFH in hexadecimal. So continuously DJZ instruction will be executed until R3 becomes 0. When R3 becomes 0, your LED, the LED is turned off by sending a logic 0 signal through port 1 pin 3. So go through the previous program as well as this program. The only difference is here one additional instruction set bit tcon.2 is used to make INT1 pin edge triggered. Okay, that's the only difference what you find. Write a program that continuously gets 8-bit data from port 0 and sends it to port 1 while simultaneously creating a square wave of 200 microseconds period on port 2 pin 1. Use timer 0 to create the square wave. Assume that the crystal frequency is 11.0592 MHz. Okay. So here we are asked to generate a square wave with a total time period of 200 microseconds. That means for 100 microsecond duration a logic high signal has to be sent, and for another duration of 100 microseconds a logic 0 signal has to be sent. Okay, for this we need to do the calculation first. So here the complete calculation is not shown. Here the value of n. Previously we have discussed in counters and timer chapter, that is module 4, regarding the calculation. Just let us see how the calculation is being done. As it is mentioned that timer 0 is used in mode 2. Mode 2 the maximum value is 255. So the formula to calculate the value that has to be loaded into TH, it is given by maximum value, that is 255, plus 1 minus n, where n is the required delay by actual delay. The required delay is 100 microseconds and the actual delay that is offered by the microcontroller is 1.085 microseconds. So the value of n only is shown here, that is 92. Next, to calculate the value that has to be loaded into TH register, so you need to calculate the value to be loaded into TH register is given by maximum value, that is 255 plus 1 minus 92, which comes up to A4 in hexadecimal. So this hexadecimal value can be loaded into TH0 register directly, or you can convert it into decimal and you can load it into TH register. Here sign of the number is considered, hence it is given as minus 92, or else the direct value, that is A4, can be loaded into the TH register. Okay, and here we have to see first which are the interrupts are being used. Here just a timer interrupt is used for generating a square wave, and you should not get confused with the question here. It is said that from P0 we are sending the content to P1. If here we are not using serial communication, if at all if we are using serial communication, it will be mentioned in the question that the data is transmitted serially or received serially. Okay, it will be mentioned here. Just you're sending the data from port 0 to port 1. Okay, so like other programs, here the starting location is ORG0000H onwards, then we are bypassing the interrupt vector table, then the main code will be executed. Here we need to program, whenever we are using timers, we have to program the TMOD register. TMOD is programmed with hash 02H, indicating timer 0 is used in mode 2. Then as we are reading the data from port 0, we have to configure the port 0 as input port. So all the pins of port 0 is configured as input port by moving FFH value. Okay, and TH0 we have discussed earlier, it has to be loaded with A4H. Then we have to enable the timer 0 interrupt. So we have to program the IE register. So IE register is loaded with hash A2H. So go through the bit pattern of IE register, you will get to know why A2H is loaded into the IE register. Then we need to start the timer. The timer is started using set bit TR0 instruction, and here you can see continuously the data from port 0 is sent to port 1. See, directly move P1 comma P0 is not allowed. So the contents of P0 register, it is moved into the accumulator, and from accumulator it is moved into the P1 register. So continuously this loop gets executed where the contents of P0 register is moved into P1. That is the content from P0 port is moved to P1, and the microcontroller gets interrupted for every 100 microseconds. For every 100 microseconds, a logic 0 and logic high signal has to be sent alternatively. Okay, now let me assume that the microcontroller is interrupted, saying that 100 microsecond delay is generated. So then the interrupt subroutine written in the location that is meant for timer 0, that is 000BH onwards, gets executed. So a logic, now the signal through port to pin 1 is complemented. So earlier if it is 1, a logic 0 will be sent, or if earlier it was logic 0, now logic 1 will be sent. Okay, so then in order to return from the interrupt, RETI instruction is used. So here you can see that for every 100 microseconds time duration, the microcontroller gets interrupted and a logic high to low signal is sent, thereby generating a square wave of time period 200 microseconds. Meanwhile, a data will be sent from port 0 to port 1. Write a program to generate a square wave of 50 Hz through port 1 pin 2 using interrupts. Okay, this program we have written it earlier also in module 4, where we have not considered the concept of interrupts. Whenever a single task is being performed, then the concepts of interrupts is not required, but here it is mentioned that you need to write the program using interrupts, hence you have to program the IE register. Okay, so for calculation, just go through the program written earlier. I'll just tell you briefly how DC value is obtained. Okay, so here timer 0 is used in mode 1. So in mode 1 the maximum value is 65,535. Okay, value to be loaded into THTL register. It is calculated using the formula. The value to be loaded into THTL register is equal to 65,535 plus 1 minus n, where n is equal to the required delay by actual delay. So here the actual delay value is not given, so let us assume that the oscillator frequency is 11.085 megahertz. So divided by 12, it gives you the timer frequency. So taking the inverse of that, it will give you the time period, that is 1.085 microseconds. That is the actual delay, and here the required delay is obtained by taking the inverse of 50 Hertz. So you get the total time period. As it is a square wave that has to be generated, divided by 2, it gives you the required delay. Okay, so when you perform the calculation, you get the value as DC in hexadecimal. This is the value that has to be loaded into TH register. As concepts of interrupts is being used, we have to program the IE register with a suitable value. Let us look into the program. ORG0 LGEMP main, that means we are bypassing the interrupt vector table. Then the control will come to the main program. Tmod is loaded with the and this value 00000001, that means tmod is loaded with hash 01h, which indicates timer 0 is used in mode 1. Then as discussed earlier, we need to load TL0 with 00 and TH0 with the immediate data DCH. Then we have to program the IE register. Whenever the interrupts is used, IE register has to be programmed. That is, IE is hash A2H, that is EA bit. The first bit is made 1. Then we have to make timer 0 interrupt enable. So the value to be loaded into IE register is hash 82H. Then we need to start the timer. So here for every for every duration, that is half of t, the microcontroller gets interrupted. Then the interrupt subroutine located in the written in the location 000BH onwards gets executed. As we are generating a square wave, we need to send a complement value through port 1 pin 2. As we are using mode 1, we have to reload the value into THTL register. Hence here we can see TL and TH is loaded with the 00 and 0DC respectively. Then in order to return from the interrupt subroutine, RATI instruction is executed. Okay, so then the control will be passed on to the main program, and continuously is jump here instruction will be executed until the microcontroller gets interrupted. This is how a 50 Hz square wave signal is generated through port 1 pin 2. Write a program in which 8051 gets data from port 1 and sends it to port 2 continuously, while incoming data from the serial port is sent to port 0. So crystal oscillator frequency is 11.0592 MHz and the baud rate is 9600. As it is mentioned that the incoming data is received from the serial port, that means here we are using serial communication interrupt. Let us look into the program. Here we need to program the SCON register, okay, TMOD and TH register. This is for serial communication. Here the signal is received through port 1, so we have to program P1 as input port. Looking into the program, ORG000H onwards the program is written, then it is bypassed to some other location. Port 1 is configured as input port, P1 is hash 0 FFH. TMOD is loaded with the 20H, indicating that timer 1 is used in mode 2. Okay, then TH1 is loaded with FTH for a baud rate of 9600. And SCON is loaded with the 50H. This is for 8-bit one-stop and REN enabled configuration. Please go through the concepts of serial communication in order to understand why TMOD, TH, SCON is loaded with these values. As serial communication interrupt is used, IE is loaded with hash 1001000BH. Then the timer is started. Okay, so here you can see continuously data is moved from port 1 to port 2. As we cannot write move P2, P1 directly, we are using an intermediate register, that is A register. Data from P1 it is moved to A register, and from A register it is sent to port 2. Okay, then here whenever an interrupt occurs, okay, so whenever an interrupt occurs, the microcontroller gets interrupted. That is for serial communication. So here then the interrupt subroutine written in the location 0023H onwards gets executed, but here we are redirecting it to a label, that is serial, so it will come to this part of the program. Then as discussed earlier, now we need to test why the interrupt has occurred. Is it because of serial transmission or is it because of reception? So here the condition is tested. Suppose now the interrupt has occurred because of transmission, then the TI flag bit is cleared and it will come back to the main program. Suppose it has occurred because of reception. In the question it is mentioned that the interrupt has occurred because of reception. Okay, so here that is whenever the reception is complete, that is whenever the character is loaded into the SBUF register, it indicates that the reception is complete. So the character whichever is there in the SBUF register, it is moved to A register. From A register it is moved to P0 port. Okay, then the interrupt, RI interrupt is cleared for the next round. Then the control will come back to the main program with the execution of RET high instruction. Okay, so then it will come back to the main program. That is, usually the control will be in these three instructions. So then continuously the data from port 1 will be sent to port 2. Try this assignment question. Write a program that continuously gets 8-bit data from port 0 and sends it to port 1 while simultaneously creating a wave of higher portion of 1085 microseconds and a low portion of 15 microseconds. Assume crystal frequency of 11.0592 megahertz. So here you can see two tasks are being performed. Okay, one is getting the data from port 0 and sending it to port 1. Meanwhile, as a rectangular wave, as the t on and t of time period is different, we can say it is a rectangular wave that is generated, and the higher portion has to be for a duration of 1085 microseconds and low for 15 microseconds. So this program can be written in two different ways. Okay, that is based on the calculation whatever you are doing. So you have to calculate TH and TL value for 1085 microseconds separately and for 15 microseconds separately. Or one more thing what you can do is you can see the calculation for 15 microseconds and you need to see what is the value that has to be multiplied in order to get a delay of 1085 microseconds. So similar program you have written it earlier also, that is in module 4. So please try this. The solution for the same will be discussed in the next class.